All right, test, test, test. We are good to go. Hey, everybody. Hope you guys all had a good day. It definitely was a roller coaster of a day filled with euphoria, fear, and now uncertainty. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today, and I hope it'll be a pretty fun stream. Loki's over here running around, so he should see you guys here in a second, or you should see him in a second. Hey, Island Time. Hey, the real transporter, and hey, Can Man. Hope you guys are doing very, very well. A little bit of a fist bump to all of you guys. Let's go, guys. Let's over here very fast. Oh no, we're already there. Never mind. Sorry, guys. I know I started up the other one, but I was like so busy on fixing the stream back up since I started the long tutorial videos today. Not started, but continued the long tutorial videos. Everything is a little bit different as far as my day-to-day setup is concerned. Now, first, let's talk about the chart here very fast. We're on the weekly chart right now. You know, this is the one of those particular GAN boxes that we check out. We're not near to. Sorry, guys. We're not close to any levels of support or resistance as far as this chart is concerned. We're really just paying attention to the 250-week moving averages. Those are the levels of resistance. They're not necessarily on the GAN box, right? Now, as far as the daily chart's concerned, you can see how we've been slowing down as of late with less pops. We've tried a couple times to gain some momentum, and each time we've had a little bit of a problem here. What needs to happen here from a technical point of view, everybody, in order for us to continue... Mike, it's a little low. Low. I mean, the volume's a little low? I don't know if the volume is a little low. I don't know. Let me know what a little low means, and I'll be there to help you guys out. But what do you call it? As far as the market's concerned right now for Bitcoin, we just don't want to break down below the 20 moving average here on the daily chart. That would signal probably a move back down here to $21,000, $20,000. That's not what we want to see. Just like how the first couple of times we were coming up against the 50 right here, we see how we bounced, then we bounced up here again, and over here we started the long move up there. We just don't want to break down below it. It's going to lead to some poor performance as far as crypto is concerned, okay? Now, today, if we go over here to the hour chart, what the heck is going on? Why does it keep doing that? TradingView is having this weird glitch where, like, all I'm doing is scrolling and it keeps on... There. I don't know what it is, but it's an annoying feature because all I'm doing is scrolling at this point. But whatever. If you guys notice it, it's fine. It's just a weird little glitch going on right now. Right up here, you saw earlier today, Bitcoin had a huge pump. It got knocked back down, but we did break above $24,000, so that's a really good sign right there if you guys are on the more bullish side. The problem for today was really this. We can go over here and just look at it very fast. Amazon, Apple, Google, we had kind of talked about how we wanted these guys to have good earnings with a strong guidance. Strong guidance is really the key here. Well, none of them actually had great earnings, and none of them actually had like great guidance. I would say it's just okay guidance, not necessarily like gloom and doom type of guidance here. But they don't forecast really anything that makes you really excited. In fact, the guidance would suggest that the value of those particular stocks should be less than where it currently is. But because of how inflation's working and the federal rate hikes and stuff like that, I think people are just buying up in anticipation for a perceived end to the rate hikes, and probably a rate cut. That should be interesting because, of course, guys, now I don't think we're going to cut rates, okay? I don't think we're going to cut rates. I think Jerome Powell is going to keep rates high, and he's just going to let them sit there for a while. But I want you guys to understand this. Actually, they were talking about this today on CNBC. We've talked about this before, but I think it was a month ago. If the Federal Reserve has to cut rates this year, that means something really bad has happened to the economy. If something really bad has happened to the economy, that means that Apple should be going down, Google should be going down. You know, there's a slowdown, right, in the growth. Now, there's a few stories here we could listen to. There's just really two stories I want to talk about here before we start going over to looking at the actual charts, so to speak. The big one here, Amazon's advertising business continues to grow despite a general slowdown in digital advertising, which has hurt companies like Google, parent Alphabet, Facebook, parent Meta, and Snap, right? That's all I really want you guys to understand about Amazon. Slowing down, their cloud service is growing, but the growth is also slowing down here. Careful with those ones. Meanwhile, Alphabet on Thursday reported fourth quarter earnings advertising revenues of $59 billion, a slowdown from $61 billion in the year earlier quarter. Alphabet's YouTube advertising unit, which faces competition from TikTok, brought in $7.96 billion in the fourth quarter, representing an 8% drop from a year ago. So basically, stuff is still continuing to fall. That's all I want you guys to get out of this. We'll look at the other news here in a little bit more. We're looking at talking about more fun stuff here, okay? And hey, Echo Pink, PHX, Jim Bob, hope you guys are doing well. Hey, Sivas, Ramses, Jonathan, and Glenn, man, hope you guys are all doing well. So as far as this is concerned with Bitcoin, we really just have to talk about the NASDAQ, the Dow, and everything like that. This is the hour chart for the NASDAQ. You can definitely see that today was just a popper. We just popped up really high. Dow Jones didn't really do much today, but the SPY and the NASDAQ, they were really having some good opportunities here, really having some good days. Now, what's going to be concerning tomorrow, and you can actually already see this if you go over here to the front page, futures for NASDAQ are down almost 2%, or actually let's say 1.5% now. The Dow is more unch because, of course, the Dow really didn't do anything today. And the S&P futures are down about 0.5%, okay? So that's not good for tomorrow's market. We're probably going to open up and probably have a red day tomorrow. Hopefully not a catastrophic day just because we had such a good day today. Hopefully we don't give back all those gains tomorrow, especially on a Friday, right? But as far as some of these assets are, I think we should probably just look at the 5-minute charts of Apple. And you can see it was very, very interesting. So, again, let's keep this in perspective. We had a great rally today. Fantastic rally. I want to keep that in perspective, okay? I think this is why Bitcoin isn't necessarily falling off of a cliff right now. So we had a great rally. We finished off the day very, very strong. Everybody was very, very excited about earnings. And, earnings results, honestly, weren't that good. And so what happened? This was so weird. The prices dropped like a rock. So we fell about, from the highs over here before the market closed, we fell down about 6.5% over a period of half an hour, okay? But we consolidated for a little bit. We pushed back up when the call actually started, the earnings call. But then what happened afterwards? We came all the way back down. So me personally, I'm very confused about what the heck was going on during this call. I was not on the call personally. I was outside with Loki, honestly, watching CNBC on my phone. But I'm still not entirely sure how the market's going to react to this tomorrow. It just seems very odd that this would happen. Now, excuse me, guys. I don't know why I got the hiccups all of a sudden. And hey, Alex, hope you're doing well, my man. Definitely a crazy market today. Now, if we go over here to some of the other ones, Amazon. Look at this. Something similar. We dropped, we came back up, we dropped again. I'm almost thinking that this irrationality, I don't know when it's going to end. To me, we shouldn't even be this high as far as a rally is concerned, but I accept that we're here. And I'm trading it to the best of my ability and having tons of fun with it. But I'm still not convinced that this is the bottom of the market, if that makes sense. Maybe a couple assets have reached their local bottoms, and I've bought up a little bit of those with the Metas and stuff like that, Netflix. But I still do think a lot of other assets can go down lower. Even Meta can go down lower, actually. Even Tesla can go down lower, all that type of stuff, right? So you're just seeing these really weird things where Amazon, look at it, spiked up, then it crashed, then it spiked back up over here, then it crashed again. So I'm very interested to see what happens tomorrow because I'm really not understanding why a lot of these assets actually picked up here during their calls just to fall back down. So I'm hoping to learn more about that. Maybe I'll have to watch the news or just like find out what exactly happened because it seemed like it was happening to multiple stocks at once. And the last one right here, I got to go all the way down to Google. Again, keep this in mind, guys. They all had fantastic rallies. Okay, I don't want to make it seem like they're just crashing off of, crashing. But again, we had this thing where it skyrocketed up, crashed all the way down, came back up, and now it's back down again. Not nearly as much of an uphill fight here as Amazon and Apple, and that's primarily because Google didn't have as good of earnings as Apple or Amazon. Okay, Google was the weak link here. I think if you guys remember watching this, that was actually the weak link that we were talking about yesterday. Now, as far as this is all concerned, this does not bode well for the market in the short term here. But again, if we go back to the indexes, which, are, in my opinion, still pretty strong, look at this. Oh, I should probably put this one back on here, shouldn't I? Let me just draw this out. Oh, I'm using a different chart system, aren't I? Okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's fine. We've still broken out. Nice, strong move there. NASDAQ is still doing fine. Hitting a level of resistance, it looks like over here, but not really too bad. Maybe it's just over here, actually. Let's go over here. There we go. Really. It's not the end of the world, guys. We may come back down a little bit, but I don't think we're going to actually be able to break back down below this trend line anytime soon. If we do come back down, I believe it's going to be much more of a gradual downhill move, which, doesn't sound very fun, but at the same time, those waves will help you out a lot. You can see I normally sell right around here about the one target level. We pumped all the way up to the second target level, and possibly we have an opportunity to go up even higher. But at this point, with the economy slowing and the market just saying, oh my God, all these big mega giants didn't have great earnings, I think you may see people just not panic and sell, but just take some money off the table and be like, hey, I'll find another opportunity to buy back in. Maybe I'm not expecting to come back down here. Maybe I just want to buy it back over here. You know how hedge fund guys think. So I'm still liking where we are, but this was a disappointing way to start off the weekend. Oh, it's not the weekend yet, but a disappointing day just because of how the earnings, like every single one of them was down with bad guidance or poor guidance. Let's say poor to okay guidance. And that's not what you want to see if you think we're going to have a soft landing here. There may also be rumors, or there's rumors that Apple may do layoffs eventually, but they haven't started any layoffs yet, and Google may be doing more layoffs as well here pretty soon. But okay, guys, that's about the gist of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Bitcoin's not in too much danger. Just keep an eye out for the 20-day moving average here. It's moving up closer and closer. I am a little bit more concerned. I do think, though, if we do have a really major downward move, it would probably happen on Saturday or Sunday. If we are going to have a negative move, I would hope that we could actually hold up against the 20-day moving average for at least one day. So if the market really does have a bad day today, I would say there's an opportunity here for you guys to short Bitcoin down about 3-4%, back down here about like, $800-$600. I can come back down here to 22,600 or so. That's what I'd be looking at the short term. Altcoins may have a really rough day today. Just be careful. But so far, only the NASDAQ and the SPY seem to be wanting to come down. I believe the Dow Jones is just about down 0.02%, not even a tenth. Only down 0.02%, excuse me. While the NASDAQ is 1.65, futures are down 0.58. Not so good, okay? Now, on the 4-hour chart here, you can just see there's some resistance hitting us. If we can manage to break above that later on tonight, that'd be awesome. But just be very, very careful at this point. To me, I really just want to stay above that 22,321 level. And let me go back over here. I'm going to change this to the daily so you can just see the daily moving average on this 4-hour chart. Right? At this point, I'm a little bit more worried about that. If we close down below the yellow line, I'm going to be concerned. But I'm going to be careful not to just try to short if we break down below the 20 on the 4-hour chart, or the 20-day moving average, excuse me. But what I want to do here is I want to see if over the next few hours, if there's going to be some type of a wick going on. So maybe the price comes down here, we wick, and then by the end of the day, we're still above the 20, and then we trickle along, and then we keep on going up a little bit higher, okay? That's what I'm hoping to see today, because even though we had some bad news here, and it was definitely not good news, the market has been so irrational as of late that I'm just being extra cautious here. Something that reminded me of myself here was I was watching CNBC today, and I saw this video. I'm going to play it for you guys here very fast because I just thought it was interesting. This lady was talking about, she's more of a pessimist or a bear for this year like I am, and she was talking about how it feels to be like a bear right now. Although I'm a little more optimistic in my bearish approach, it is interesting. We do share a few similarities here, okay? So watch this very fast.
Like all of January has been really tough for any of us who were cautious. And this is a day, and yesterday was a day where I felt really wrong. And the market continues to tell me, you're wrong. The data that you're talking about isn't coming to fruition. And what's happened so far is that I figured a recession and earnings recession would be much more obvious by this point. And it's just not. But some of these results today are mixed, and they're not overly enthusiastic, but I think the reaction, aside from a couple of them, just proves how enthusiastic the market still is, and that buyers are still there. People are still excited for this and hoping that we can somehow orchestrate a soft landing. And now Jay Powell even said we can orchestrate a soft landing, so people really believe it. I don't think that this deserves the green light, and I think earnings this entire year, the story is going to be about revenue, not as much about the bottom line. And revenues are dropping.
Okay, there you go. That was me just talking. But what do you call? That's kind of how I feel right now. Like, I expect the market to go down lower, but when I see stuff like this, I always second guess myself. I'm going to be very interested to see, kind of in hindsight, was I right to think that we were going to go down another level, or was that really the bottom that we saw around $15,000, $16,000 as far as Bitcoin's concerned? Personally, I'm more bearish. I just am. But I hope that I'm wrong in some respects, but my wallet hopes that I'm right, so I can buy up a lot of assets at cheap valuations. All right, everybody. Did I miss the Loki cam? Loki is... He's not actually in the camera zone. He's over here in the corner. I have put like a nice blanket here for him, but sometimes he really just likes being in the corner, chilling out and chewing on his ball. Next time he runs over here, I'll let you see him though. Let's go over here. Do I own any Zen crypto? What do you think of the project? I don't own any Zen crypto, and I have no idea what the project is. I can look it up here for you though. Zen. Oh, I'm guessing it's just this top one here. So it looks like the market cap is like 9 million, a very tiny, tiny, tiny project here. I'd be very, very careful if you want to buy into this. Looks like it's on Gate.io and Huobi. Huobi, I don't know how to pronounce that one. That's probably where I would buy it if I get the opportunity. But I have no idea what this project is. I can go check out the website very fast. Check out a wallet to connect. Well, I just want to learn more about it. Light paper. Community building crypto asset that connects the like-minded people together. If you're a seasoned OG or simply crypto curious, Zen has the lowest barrier to entry through its unique tokenomics. This is the problem it solves. Today, the crypto world exists on a very bipolar plane, namely the well-known cryptocurrencies are overbought, pumped, and subsequently sold off, dumped. The unique cryptocurrencies are often left undiscovered for a long time by general investors while suffering from pre-mining and whale accumulation by the founding teams. Zen aims to solve both problems through a fair lunch. Seems okay. I would probably say you only really need a little bit of money here if the market cap really is that tiny. I'm not entirely sure if this is accurate here. It hasn't verified the project's market cap, it looks like. But I mean, if you wanted to toss in 20 bucks into it, nobody's going to stop you there. But I don't know much about it. Let's see. Bed Bath & Beyond store in upstate New York, where I'm scheduled to be, is closing. Hopefully they won't close all of them. They're probably just closing down certain ones in areas where they're just not making as much profit as they want to, right? Unprofitable stores. They're probably in the midst of just like trying to figure out anything they can to fix everything. Remember, before Kmart closed down, and for those of you guys that remember Kmart, they closed down a bunch of stores before they finally went bankrupt. They were trying everything they possibly could to just niche down, get profitable stores, and over time, once they figured out that solution to make money, they could actually expand upon that solution to get more and more and more stores out there. But it's definitely been I don't know if they're going to survive, but I hope they do. I sold everything this morning. Thank God everyone okay. And hey, Stevens, definitely was a crazy time. I was actually making a tutorial today for you guys as far as how to add double exponential moving averages and exponential moving averages on a trading view. And I went into a little bit more detail than my last two videos on the subject. And I was making pointing out the different types of numbers, like the 8 and the 20 or the 20 and the 50 as far as exponential numbers. And I was like, oh yeah, we're looking at Tesla right now. Imagine if Tesla breaks down below this, you could probably see a little bit of a downward move. And Tesla, after it broke down, just went and went down for the rest of the day. But yeah, it's definitely not the best of earnings right here. But at least the day was still pretty solid. It was interesting to see Qualcomm actually have a really good earnings report, but over time it decided to go back down. And I think that's just because people are afraid of what's going to happen tomorrow as far as Apple, Google, and Amazon all hitting the market with 3 to 4% losses here. If you go over here to Qualcomm, I'm on crypto here. Which one's Qualcomm? I always forget how to freaking spell this one. Qualcomm. Okay, there you go. Okay. So let's go to 5. You see, after hours, it was actually pretty good news, but as time went on, it fell back down. This whole thing was interesting. So it pretty much gave up all the gains from today and yesterday. So you should see the market come back down maybe 2 to 3% as far as the NASDAQ is concerned. Apple probably 2 to 3%, Google 2 to 3%. My fear really does come into place is when we look at stuff like Apple here. Let's go over here. Let's probably go to the 4-hour chart so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Tomorrow, I'm hoping we open up and we just kind of bounce around and we look ugly, but we don't really continue to go down. Because if we start breaking down below this trend started all the way back in the 6th of January, okay? That gives the bears an excuse to hop back on and push us back down a little bit more. Now, do I think if we fall down below this trend line, we're going to be coming all the way back down here? No. I think it may be a little bit of a bumpy ride like that. And maybe we don't even come back down that low. Maybe we just come back down around that level. But I do think that'd be a bad day, a bad week, because everybody's going to be pulling money out, letting the market breathe for a little bit, then pushing money back in. I would say not next week, but the week after that, okay? So, and for those of you guys that got some hedges on the puts and the calls that we were talking about today in this morning's members video, let me know how they do tomorrow. I'll be doing an update video and I'll ask you guys how they did. I'll post some Webull profits, I guess, as well too, or just some Webull percentage increases here. I am interested to see how you guys did with this one, whether you guys did the short-term ones that expire tomorrow or you guys did the longer-term ones that expire next Friday. But they gave you a little bit more leeway. But as far as I'm concerned right now for Apple, if I go over here to Apple very fast, we were thinking about a 155 strike price for the calls and all the way down here on 144, 145 if you were looking at the puts. And this would be for if you were holding till next Friday. At this point, though, you know, it's already at like 145. It may go down to 142, maybe even back down here to support around 140, 141-ish tomorrow. So, I know some of you guys said you were going to scale it tomorrow. Some of you guys said you're just going to sell it to Monday. Whatever you guys just decide, definitely be fine with it. Be okay with it. If you guys did do any hedge plays, I'll just tell you now. And let's say you bought some calls and you bought some puts, and your puts are making you money, but your calls aren't doing anything. If you have calls expiring next Friday, it doesn't really make sense to sell them at this point in case we do have another rally. Just hold on to them. Don't worry about it because it's already going to be worthless. You've already made your money because the crash has happened so significantly, especially if you're holding for tomorrow or next Friday. You're going to have a good percentage increase on your the value of your puts. So at this point, whenever you make a profit here, just make sure you walk away with a profit because now you're going to be in the money, right? If it decides to go back up here for next Friday, go 148, 149, you might not make all of your money back, but you won't be down 99% if that makes sense. That just get back a little bit of your money there. Even though you're walking with a profit, there's no reason you can't be frugal and be like, hey, I want all the money I can get back at this point. And the same thing goes with Google, and the same thing goes with Amazon here, okay? Looks like all the puts are going to be paying out. Looks like all the calls are just going to be going to trash. Just hold on to them until expiration and see what happens with them. There's no reason to sell at this point. I should have told you guys that during the video today, but I was more like, look how crazy everything is going right now. It's been an insane rally today. I mean, for heaven's sakes, just look at Bitcoin's 15-minute chart. Just look at the hour chart. Just look at that. Boom, 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 boom. I just can't believe how crazy this whole day has been. I mean, just looking at some of these smaller moves here, it's just absolutely wild. Yeah, I mean, like a stop there, a stop there, a stop there. Didn't stop there, stopped up here. But I'm just like, look at that. It's just, we were going all over the place today. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Kind of watch Bitcoin go down just a little bit. And if you guys have any coins you guys want me to check out, you guys know the drill. Just feel free to ask me about it. And hey, Alex, the ups and downs and the after hours definitely because of traders, but it like what was driving them? Because when you were watching the news and we were getting all this news live, Fox Business was going over it a little bit. Mostly CNBC was covering it, I think, a little bit better. The news came out for a couple of these assets, and they had like a small spike, some of them, or they just had a flat out drop. But when the call started, I'm guessing that the people on the phone, the CFOs, CEOs, they said like a really rosy prospects, and that drove a little bit of a bidding war for people that thought they missed the rally today and they just wanted to get in, and that pushed the price back up. But I think as the after hours went along, people that were still understanding how that the earnings were not a good sign decided to sell back out and then pushed it back down. And that's my guess, but I would like to see a little bit more like evidence of that, basically from my point of view. But it is very concerning that the market is so irrational, and I think that's because people forget that there's just so much money on the outskirts of the market right now. The market's still down a lot from where it was last year and the year before that, and so all that money, it's just being held at this point. And pretty soon, people want to put that money back into the market, but they're just trying to figure out the right time to do so. So my strategy, and I think all of our strategies have been so far during this bear market, is you dollar cost averaging. You figure out what you want to buy, and you buy a little bit of every week, a little every month, whatever your time frame is, but you just buy a little bit of it, okay? Over and over and over again, so you're exposing yourself to the market. These guys, they wait for specific levels, and they hope it can come down there, then they try to buy it up, and then they hold it for long periods of time, whether it's months or years, and then they turn it over for a profit. But there came a certain point, I believe, over this past week where a lot of the people that were thinking, "Oh my gosh, I want Apple to go down to $100 or $110, whatever. Maybe it's not going to get there. Maybe I should actually buy some Apple right now just in case it doesn't." I think those type of bears really felt a little bit of pressure here to actually enter the market because they thought they might be getting left behind. Because normally how these markets work out when we're having a financial crisis or a bubble, let me just go over here to like a NASDAQ or something, okay? Let's go to the weekly chart. Skip all this stuff. Well, you go over here. Remember back in 2018, you see how fast we just started to skyrocketing after we dipped? Now go back over here to 2008. See how we had a crazy time? Then we started to skyrocket. People are afraid of missing this, right? Even going back to 2001, 1990s, whatever. People are afraid of missing this that turns into that, right? People are just afraid that they're going to... It's FOMO. It's FOMO. That's the easy way. It's FOMO right now. Even hedge funds have FOMO. Now, we don't know if we're here and we're just coming out of it, or we don't know if we're just here taking a little bit of a breather after a really big pump that really comes back down a little bit later. We'll have to see it. At this point, this pump right here came up 25, 26%. That's not unreasonable. Over here, 22%, 23%. That's not really that crazy. Now, we do crazy stuff because, again, there's just so much more money sloshing in the market, but it also took a little bit longer period of time for us to get up here, of course. Remember, we had a little bit of a pullback here again. So you go from this bottom that we had back up here. We're up like 19%. Actually, that's kind of still around the right range, actually. So give it some time to see how it's all going to work out, so to speak. But just be careful if the economy really does start to get back more bearish, and that's still kind of where I am at this point. Doomsday scenario for spring for me at this point, if I was to give you guys something here to work with, there's tons of stuff you guys can work with. At this point in time, we do have a shoulder. We are potentially making a head. If sometime in March or April we come back and we're kind of popping off again and we're making another shoulder, that's going to give me a huge amount of concern. But now we only have part of a head, not even a head. So we have less than 2/3 of the information we need to have in order to have some type of head and shoulders play, okay? But I am just aware that it's there, and I'm just being extra careful at this point to see, keep an eye out for it, okay? All right, let me go back over here now, kind of watch this little bit of a drop down. Probably let's go over the 5. No, let's go 15. There we go. 15 is fine. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Update on Ford thinking of buying the overreaction. Hey, Anonymous. So yeah, so Ford is so weird because they actually had the demand, but their execution apparently was just the god awful, horrible. Like the people that actually work at these executive levels must have just been stupid or inept in some way to throw away billions of dollars, frankly. Let's talk about it right now. It is very interesting. As far as buying it, the short answer, yes, I would actually buy this. I would be looking to buy this. Now, would I go all in right now? No, but I'd start a pretty good dollar cost averaging position if you want to hold it for the long term. For long term, yeah, it's a good opportunity here. Well, even over the next few weeks, but yeah, you do want to start buying it, in my opinion here, but not a lot. But you want to put an entry position. Okay, see me, I'm running around all day. Detroit Ford Motor reported an ugly fourth quarter, missing Wall Street earnings expectations and falling short of its own full-year guidance by $1.1 billion, as the company reported execution issues that plagued operations. Ford's fourth quarter net income was $1.3 billion, $11 billion lower than the same period a year ago. For the full year, Ford lost $2 billion, nearly $20 billion off its 2021 profit. That's a lot. That's a lot. The CEO Jim Farley said we should have done more. We should have done better last year. We left about $2 billion in profits on the table that were within our control, and we were going to correct that with improved execution and performance. Shares of Ford were off by more than 6% during after-hours trading. The stock closed Thursday at $14.32 per share, up 3.8% for the session. Here's how Ford performed in the fourth quarter. So, 51 cents versus 62. I mean, look at that. Look at that gap. They had 51 cents per earnings, but they were supposed to get 62. That's way, way off. But the revenue was above expectations, which was so interesting here at the same time. But they just left a lot of money off the table, on the table. Now, if they really can fix these problems, which I think they can, it's a buy. I like Ford. I'm still holding Ford after, and I've been holding it for a while here. Ford, if I go over here very fast, monthly, ever since COVID, it's been doing very, very well. I scaled out of some of my Ford here. Let me go over here to Ford. Back over there, yeah. They also have a dividend here in case you guys like it. That's kind of one of the reasons I actually bought it a while ago. Low short float here, but as far you can see the drop here after hours, of course. But go over here to Ford. Something's not right. Chart. There you go. There you go. So you see this right here. Ford was actually breaking out, and that was what made it so nice and attractive over the last few days, weeks, I should say. But this news really does kind of bring it back down here, quite down a lot. So we'll have to see what that really does, what that does for the price action. But I would still be looking to buy it here because it was a backup here just a few months ago, I should say a year ago, back around $25. I think once all this is over, it's going to go to 30, 40 as it picks up its EV market. I think it'll do just fine. If you're looking for long-term holds, I would definitely like to start buying here if you weren't able to buy during the COVID pandemic. One other thing here, it depends on which ones you guys want to use, honestly. But some of these have been very useful, especially over here. Over here, we broke out, rejection over here, held for a little bit, no rejection up here. We don't have anything a little bit higher. But that one worked out a little bit well. If you guys want to use this for a little bit over here, you can see how we're getting rejected right there. And then the other one that's a little bit more, probably better here is the longer-term one, way up here. Right, that one kind of matched up where you would probably want to sell the one. That's one right there. The last one would probably be if you really wanted to go this far out, which is probably not the best idea. You got this right here. Maybe watch out a Ford over the next the next year or something. It's $19. That'll probably be that next level of resistance, matching up with this level of resistance right there. Not too concerning. It's a long time away, but keep an eye out for it. Ford's been very, very interesting. It's been very, very good. Have some fun with it, but definitely to me, it's more of a longer term hold with that 4% dividend that it has. And the fact that they should have made way more money. They really should have made way more money over the past quarter. Okay, they should have really made more money. Do I have any thoughts about Chiliz? I feel like it's getting ready for a nice move up of a nice little bit. Careful because tomorrow it's going to be a little bit interesting to see how everything works itself out because of these bad earnings reports or negative earnings reports. I would say, nice ascending triangle, nice little consolidation pattern. You definitely want to see this break out there and close above this resistance level of about, let's say, 0.1442 or so. If it's able to do that, it would definitely be a nice little buy here, especially after the golden cross. On the weekly charts here, is anything really blocking it? I would say you'd probably be looking for it to get back up here towards 16.5 cents, not really much above that at this point in time. I do like the fact that it has a little bit of a double bottom vibe, even though it has a double top in the middle of it. If you're thinking more long-term, this could be a pretty interesting play right here, especially as this resistance level that we're looking at here also matches up with this support level. Oh, that's behind my head. There we go. Right over here. So at this point, we do have a death cross coming on the weekly chart here. That's interesting. When's the last time we had one of those? Yeah, that didn't end well. I would wait for a robust move, and I just basically wait for us to close above it. You can see how we've had some fake outs here. Maybe I should go to the hour chart. Fake outs where we've been above it for hours, but towards the end of the day, we just get knocked back down, above it for like an hour, then afterwards we get knocked back down, back above it for a few hours, then we get knocked back down, and we got knocked back down hard on this one. So careful with it. I would say just wait for it to close, probably on the daily chart here, because it looks like the 4-hour charts, we're still falling for it. And depending on how long this wants to take, just be careful it doesn't break down below the 50-day moving average. Primarily, though, as soon as it closes above this level, I would put it in a position and probably, hope for around 16 cents, which, from 14.5, or at 14.41. 15 cents gives you 4%. If you want 16 cents, it's up here towards 10, 11%. Not a bad play, but you want to be careful because earnings were kind of mixed today. Watch to see how the market opens up tomorrow because it it may push Bitcoin back down here to maybe like 22,800 or so. Not a crazy bad number, right? The concern is what happens as Bitcoin tests out the support levels here, the moving averages here, because pretty soon we're not going to have the market to kind of guide us because it's going to be Saturday, Sunday, and then we're going to hope that Bitcoin, without the market kind of holding it down, can therefore push up towards $26,000, or really just that 200 weekly moving average and the 50 weekly moving average. If we can do that, that's where Chiliz can have that really big push here. Okay, I would like to see the candle finish off green though, as far as the weekly candles are concerned for Bitcoin this week though. Okay, there we go. How do you long-term investment on Binance? So typically what you're gonna do is you're just gonna buy spot crypto. You're just gonna buy, just buy crypto with no futures, nothing like that. And then what you're gonna do afterwards, if you want to be more secure, you're gonna buy some type of Ledger Nano wallet or something like that, and you're gonna put all of that crypto onto your Ledger Nano wallet and then just take it off of Binance. You're just gonna transfer wallets basically. That's a really easy way to say it, like just very simple thing to do. You buy it in spot, then you transfer it over to your Ledger Nano wallet. If you don't have a Ledger Nano wallet, you can have Binance hold it. But if for whatever reason, if Binance ever to go bankrupt, you would lose all that crypto, which is why I just don't recommend holding longer term assets there, unless you really have no other choice. Other than that, I prefer just to keep my trading account balances on top in there, and I try to withdraw money as needed to make sure I don't really hit any weird caps that they may have on withdrawals and stuff of that nature. American Airlines and JetBlue are making me some good profits. Did you see them going up? I did not see them going up today. It'll be interesting to see how JetBlue. I haven't really checked out American Airlines. I know the airlines will be pretty decent this week. The only one that actually had any problems, I think, was Southwest, and that's because of the huge debacle they had, if you guys remember, in December. But travel really hasn't slowed down too much. The economy, as far as travel, has been doing very, very well. People are still spending lots and lots of money. Hotels are still costing a lot of money. You'll know when there's a recession because hotel rooms get really, really cheap really, really fast. While I was in Seattle a few weeks ago, I was up there for Friday, and I got like drunk with a couple friends, and I was like, we were all like they live all north of Seattle, like half an hour north. So they got an Uber back home, and I didn't really want to like drive home because I was drunk, or I didn't want to take an Uber home because like that's like an hour-long Uber ride. Like, why would I do that? So I literally just got a hotel room for the night, and I woke up the morning after, and the hotel bill was like $300 for the night. It was insane. But it was a nice hotel. But the prices are still doing just fine. Corporate spending is definitely up quite a bit. Like let me see if I can find that hotel for us. Marriott. No, not Marriott. Let me find it here. Let's go over here. There it is. Hyatt Regency. It's like in a nice little block here, even though it's like never walked upon. There you go. See, nice little block. But yeah, this hotel right here, yeah, $300 for a base room. I wasn't even that high up. I was like right in the middle area. But the city is still popping. Now, certain parts of Seattle, of course, lots of homeless, lots of crime. You kind of avoid those areas. Businesses are closing on those specific areas, which is kind of sad. But if you got like the cops actually work in your neighborhood, foot traffic and stuff is still fine. Because this is the Hyatt Regency. There's tech buildings all across. I mean, just if there's money there, there's cops there, there's protection there. So kind of depends on where you're at, but travel should be good. I mean, remember I told you guys I'm flying to Las Vegas this March. I'm flying to Nicaragua this year. I'm probably going to fly somewhere else this year. I'm just, taking rides. Everybody's doing more and more trips this year. And hey, D-Mark, what are your opinions on comp? Long term, I think comp is going to be just fine. The main reason I buy comp, honestly, is because it does have a lower market cap, and honestly, it's on Robinhood. Typically, those assets on Robinhood do very, very well. And my strategy specifically for comp, if you want to know it, but maybe you do, maybe you don't. So I have acquired about $2,000 worth of comp. That's probably a little bit higher now, I guess. 2,000 is really towards the lows. Maybe around 3,000, 4,000 now. Not 2,000, 3,000, something like that. I have it on a third party wallet. When Robinhood, when the bull market happens and we're seeing all time highs again, I want to actually transfer those comp over to my Robinhood comp wallet. And then from there, I'm hoping to sell it on Robinhood's exchange because what happened last time, if you guys remember, was comp was going parabolic on Robinhood's exchange and it wasn't going as parabolic on Binance and KuCoin and BitGet and BingX and those other types of exchange. So the way I'm looking at it now is because people have, like, everybody has access to Robinhood. Like, everybody has a Robinhood account. Even if they don't even have money on it, they have a Robinhood account nowadays. So, you know, as the bull market kicks off down the road and we start seeing some really crazy highs, I'm just going to move all of my comp into Robinhood. And like, for an example, like, I don't remember the exact numbers, but let's say on Binance, comp was $300. On Robinhood, comp was $380. So I'm planning on selling it like that. And it is the lowest market cap coin on Robinhood. So I do like that for a nice buy. I am hoping they put more low market cap coins on Robinhood. That would make me extremely happy. Extremely happy. But I just don't know what their next set of coins they're going to be putting on there. But I'll tell you this. If they put another coin on there that has a low market cap and preferably is under a penny, I will buy loads of it and so much more of it because while it'll probably be like a YOLO, it'll be a YOLO worth playing. It will be a YOLO worth playing on that one because if it has, like, if Webull has it, Robinhood has it, Binance has it, everybody has it, those are the coins that really do have a good shot of exploding and becoming the meme capability here. So I'm really excited whenever they do that. Let's see. Let's see. Lots of FOMO happening recently. Fear and greed index and extreme greed. Yeah, we're greedy. We're definitely greedy here, guys. Nothing we can do about that. And hey, Can, I can look at Hive for you, but yeah, Anonymous definitely some greed right now. I mean, I just called it euphoria yesterday, and it just feels like it's getting worse and worse and worse. So you said puts for Hive, so I assume you mean Hive blockchain technologies, and not the token here. Whoa. Okay, this is crypto, isn't it? Okay. Breaking out a little bit more, popping up today. Oh, look at that breakout above the 200. How long has it been since it's been above the 200 daily moving average? December of 2021, over a year ago. Hot damn. Give me. Okay. So we just had a breakout here. That was a pretty solid breakout. Kind of an aggressive trend line. That thing really wanted to pop up here. I guess it was just catching up to Bitcoin. You want to play some puts on this? I would say you can wait for it to break down here. That's always your first opportunity. Usually the safer opportunity. Let me see what else we're looking at here, though. There we go. Okay, let's go to 15. Only hug there for a second. Hasn't really tested up here. With the market probably going down tomorrow, I'd probably say you could do an entry position at maybe it puts around. This is a small value play, so you could probably only go down to $4, can't you? Maybe some $4 puts for next week, I would say. But I'd prefer to just get $3.50 puts or maybe $3 puts whenever it breaks down here. That's going to be the easiest opportunity for you at this point because you're really hoping that Bitcoin's also going down during this time frame. So by the time it actually does break down below this trend line here, you can also see that it's most likely going to be breaking down below the 20-day moving average here as well. And also it would have already broken down below the 200-daily moving average, leading to maybe more of a downward turn here. If you go over here to the weekly chart, anything really there. So we do have the 50 up here, but I don't think we're going to hit it as long as the market looks like it's going to be going down tomorrow. Let me go over here and let me check out the futures very fast. 1.61% down, 0.58% down, 0.4% down, 0.04% down. Probably looks like tomorrow is going to be a pretty red day. Not catastrophic, but just a red day, carrying back some of the gains we saw today. I would assume that Hive is definitely going to come down for that. So maybe if you just want to do some day trades here, that could be pretty nice. I'd probably say, let me just look at the hourly chart here. Anything that you could actually trade. No, because it still just broke down. So the same thing. You're just going to be looking for this basic trend line to be broken. And then you can have some fun with it. But be careful, though, because if Bitcoin starts to soar over the weekend and you're holding these options over the weekend, you can definitely see this turn into something really, really nasty, really, really fast. If if Bitcoin decides to pump up. Go back over here very fast. There we go. Okay. And I'm a very bright future as far as Ford is concerned. I mean, they've been doing some really good stuff. It's so wild that they actually messed up themselves. It's like an execution thing. They need to fire some people, rehire some people, and they'll get it done. They'll get it done. Is Bitcoin trying to make a double bottom on the 15-minute chart? Uh, there. It was trying to hold a while ago, but unfortunately, it managed to break down a few minutes ago and just retesting out this support level over here. I wouldn't say it's trying to double bottom though. Like it's not trying to make that W pattern. That pattern would look a little bit more defined. I don't remember the last time we actually had a double bottom on the Bitcoin 15-minute chart though. That's not. I mean, this is similar to double bottom here. I guess you could say bottom, but broke out here, came to retest back down a little bit. But I don't really like this one as a double bottom type play. It feels almost like a double top, or you can even see the head and shoulders within this, like the shoulder, head, and the shoulder broke down, came to retest, and it really didn't come back down afterwards. Not really, not really. It's getting close to it kind of looks like one, but at this point, it's just falling down bit by bit. You're gonna see the death cross happen here over the 20 and the 200. Watch it to break down below the support level. I would say something more of a triple bottom or one top, two tops, kind of three tops, more of a rectangle, if you will. But basically, the way I think about it is this in my head: just don't break down below that, don't break out above that. Break it above that, good. Don't break down below this. To me. Although at this point, I mean, you can see the strong support level seems to be right there around 23,421 of the strong support. It really does have support down here on 23,363. Yeah. We'll keep an eye on it. We can put the second chart on here, so if it does get too close, you'll notice it. So far, it looks like we're just getting pushed down here, but you can clearly see there's a little bit of support that we're on right now. A little bit of support. Keep an eye out, though. Keep an eye out for it, though. Excuse me, guys. Whoosh. Long day. Let's see. Ticker UNG? I don't know what UNG is. Oh, natural gas fund. Never mind. I do know what this is. Wait, you said it hit all-time highs? UNG? This isn't all-time highs today. You mean all-time lows? Oh, you did say all-time lows. Never mind. Sorry, my brain just assumes all-time highs with how crazy this market is. You could from a technical standpoint, and I think it'd be worth it as long as you're not trying to hold it long term. I do think because there's going to be this next big offensive as far as the Russian war in Ukraine, that could really cause some destabilization in Europe, and that might be a good thing for the price of natural gas. But the spring is coming. Europe isn't going to need as much natural gas, so you may actually see this fall down even more. So just be careful. I would say that you were correct to say just start a position. I would only start a position and see where it goes from there. But I would be hesitant to try to hold this for more than like a month or two, because you really just don't know how much natural gas is really going to be pumped out at this point, because you can see it right now. I mean, like it's been falling like a rock. Let me zoom in here for you guys. I mean, this thing has just been falling like a rock because the European winter wasn't as bad as forecast, and as soon as you see that over here in December, just come down like a rock. So I would say you could start one from a technical perspective, but I would just start. I wouldn't really go heavy at this point. I'd really wait for it to find some some support, some like stabilization here, and then I'd feel more better about buying it down the road. So maybe if you want to look for an opportunity to buy this, Maybe wait for it to pop back above the 20-day moving average here. If you're a fan of the exponential moving averages, you know, maybe if it breaks back above the 100 here, but I guess the 100 is going to be freaking a while away at this point, isn't it? Based on how this is falling down, yeah, way too high. Right onto the 20, yeah, 20, 50, 20. So let's do this very fast. Okay, so let's go make it white, thick. Still too far away from there. Okay, so let's do this then. Let's add the DEMA on here. Let's go to a DEMA and let's add a 20 DEMA here. 20 DEMA. DEMA, let's go over here. Let's make it white again. Perhaps if whenever it gets back above the 20 week double exponential moving average, that might be a good opportunity. Let's see. That time it really didn't do too well. This thing just falls down so freaking fast. That's not going to be a good one either. I'd probably say just wait for the 20-day moving average here. There's no reason to force at this point. This isn't like a stock. This is, commodity. It's going to have a little bit different of a chart, and it looks like it's not going to be following that at all at this point. Yeah. Give it some time to just get back above the 20. I think that's the safest play you could do. Other than that, you could just open one up right now and hope for the best. But it is a commodity, so it's going to be really moving around based off of what's happening in Ukraine, Russia, Europe, and that type of stuff. Okay, so just be careful with it, because this thing has definitely been coming down quite a bit here. This is the 2-month chart. 2-month chart. Yowza, 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 yowza. Now, there has been some like splits and stuff like in here because, of course, the commodities are a little bit different. But man, it is pretty crazy. Definitely pretty crazy here how the market has adjusted over time. But it should be an interesting play. Let me know how it works out. Nice little pump coming up here for Bitcoin. That's nice to see. You bought Apple puts when I was at 150. Oh, nice, Larry. That looks really, really nice. What's right there? You need them put Gala on Robinhood? They might. I mean, the Gala is pretty popular these days, so I think they might be in the pipeline for them. And hey, JXLM, yeah, let's look at it very fast. I know we talked about this yesterday. There we go. Actually, let me just go over to this side. Ah, there we go. We still got some stuff here. Okay, let's go to the 4-hour chart. All right, so as far as what we saw today, we had talked about this yesterday as far as this resistance level over here. Unfortunately, it looks like we got rejected from that resistance level. Not the end of the world right now, not the end of the world. And you can actually see we only got held up here for maybe 8 hours before we actually were able to break above it. That's a good sign here. And we actually did get rejected off of this one right here as well. So at this point, I would still say I'm holding off on doing any large trades unless you guys are trying to short this back down, in which case you would have shorted at resistance, right? I would still wait for an opportunity for this to close above the trend line. And then once we have that consolidation phase, once it breaks out like we did right here, you'd want it to break out, probably retest this, maybe fall back down, but still stay above the red line here, the trend line. Then break out and have a really solid move. Not much has changed on my position as far as that's concerned. Although I would say if crypto does bad this weekend because earnings were pretty bad today or pretty disappointing today, you might see it come back down here to maybe like 9 cents or maybe around like 0.087 or so. Nothing catastrophic, but when you think about it, it still is around like 3-4%. Not terrible, but 3-4%. So again, nothing terrible, but I'd probably want to just wait for it to break out before I actually buy it up. It's in a pretty nice flag right now. I'd like to see it go a little bit higher and have a nice move up to the retest, maybe around the 200 daily moving average here. But for now, it got rejected off of that resistance level. I want to see it continue to be pumped up. And over here on the daily chart, you can see it's actually holding up against the 20-day moving average very, very well. If for whatever reason Bitcoin has a bad day, you'd probably actually see this have a longer wick, something like this. That brings it back down here to 0.07, which is only about 4 or 5 cents, about 4 or 5%, but that would still be, it would feel bad on the portfolio, so to speak. But yeah, it looks fine to me at this point. I don't really see any concerns with it. Just kind of watch out for the 20 and just kind of see how it approaches those next levels of resistance. Here. And hey, Echo, did I eat late? You always eat late, fam? No, I didn't eat yet today. I was waiting for my mom and sister to come over and visit me today. They're like going back to like their house and kind of staying here every now and again. My mom has like low blood pressure and low blood sugar. After like dialysis days, she comes over here because I can help take care of her a little bit. Um, I'm making more pizza today. Yesterday I didn't make pizza, but I made like a dessert pizza. But my mom's blood sugar was like skyrocketing because she went to my sister's school for some event because to learn more about my sister's trip. My sister's going to Korea later on this year, um, South Korea. And basically, my grandmother bought her a milkshake, and my mom's blood sugar shot up to like 400, which is like uh, not what you want to be at blood sugar. Okay, let me tell you that. So, last night I was taking care of her, but I also made a dessert pizza for myself. And she really wanted to try out my dessert pizza, but I physically wouldn't give her any because her blood sugar was just like too much. And she took her insulin and it was coming down, but I just still wouldn't give her any because I'm like, don't mess with fate here with your blood sugar. So today I invited them over and I'm going to make a homemade dessert pizza again with some crumble topping. So it's just like pizza dough basically. And we have butter, brown sugar, regular sugar, and you crumble it all up together. You put it on top of the dough. You bake it in the oven. You make some homemade icing. All I have is oat milk right now, so I'm gonna make oat milk icing, which should be interesting. And with a little splash of real Mexican vanilla that has a little bit of alcoholic tinge to it. Mix it up, drizzle it on top after everything's all done, and then serve it. So that way she can actually have some today because she's had her insulin and she's like healthy enough to to eat it. But yeah, so I haven't eaten actually today. I'm also just gonna make myself a pizza to just make things easier for me, so I can just use the dough for two different things. Um, I usually eat late. I think it's my medication. Is my psychiatrist lady says that my anxiety medication and my ADHD medication can make me lose my appetite. So today, honestly, I only had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich all day, and I also was recording a lot today for my long-term tutorials. So I really didn't get much time to really do much besides go outside and play with Loki. Just so you guys know, as far as those tutorials are concerned, I have started the first introductory videos. Basically, the way I'm doing them is I've been making like 5 or 6 videos, like kind of reading a script. I put them together, and that makes one larger video, maybe like between a minute and 2 minutes. So I'm a few clips here. So because I'm reading it, I don't want to sound too crazy when I'm reading it, or like what do you want to say, like I can recite 2 sentences really clearly like this to you guys, but if I'm reading something, it sounds really weird and crazy. If I'm just like, hey everybody, my name is Michael. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Today we're going to be talking about the way that Bitcoin may be looking at a little bit of a reversal here based off of the news of Google, Amazon, and Apple. Doesn't sound right, does it? But yeah, so I've been doing videos like that, putting them together. Tomorrow I start the overview of the course where I'm going to be breaking down everything that I have to do. I think I showed you guys the overview before format today, yeah. So I even got it zoomed in here so you guys could see it on the screen while I'm recording. It wouldn't look like this. It would look like a little bit different here. But again, I break down everything that we're going to be going over through the course. So this is the overview of the course, like this is where we are now type of star thing, right? Little star right there. Prerequisites for the course, loading objectives, stock trading basics. We'll kind of go more in depth, I guess, in all these as well here. But crypto trading basics, options trading basics, trading platforms and tools, computer equipment. This is going to take weeks for me to record because the introduction, that's pretty easy because it's just kind of me talking to you guys. The stock trading basics, that's where I have to build out a fresh PowerPoint presentation to kind of get you through everything. And at the same time, I have a PowerPoint. So this is like, so I have one right here. This is the rough draft for it. And you can see that has like a bunch of different slides and stuff like this, right? Or this is the copy one. This is the copy one. This isn't the finished one. So yeah, I got a few of them. This is the final guide, right here, ultimate trading guide. Yeah. And so I know it's zoomed in a lot, but as I'm making all this stuff and I'm condensing a lot of information into different slides because now, for the final one, I'll have a slide and then I'll pull out of the slide. I'll go to a chart and I will show you what I'm talking about so you guys understand from a chart perspective of what to be looking at on it for as far as the stock's concerned, if that makes sense. And then also looking at other information that you guys may need to know. Like when I do technical analysis, I'm going to show you in a PowerPoint what a pennant looks like, what a double head and shoulders looks like. But then I'm also going to go over to a chart and I'm going to show you guys, hey, this is what it really looks like. It's not exactly like this. People think that it has to look exactly like that. That's not the way head and shoulders work out, right? Or just patterns in general. So kind of like making sure you guys have like a book text understanding of what's going on, but also a practical understanding of what you're looking at when you're looking at charting tools like, TradingView, TD Ameritrade, Schwab, and stuff like that. Now we'll be using TD Ameritrade, but you get the gist here. But no, I haven't eaten. Oh man. And hey, the Razorback, what do I need to do on BingX to receive an award? I haven't signed up yet, but I want to support your channel. Yeah, if you want to support the channel and sign up for BingX, there's a link down below. Sign up using that link. And then what you have to do is you have to go into my Discord and go to the BingX chat room and just ping at BingX support and say, hey, I just signed up and I want this reward, and you'll get $100 credit to trade with. So basically, that just like imagine if you got a Robinhood account, they just put $100 into your Robinhood account and you can trade with it. Now you can't take that $100 out and just withdraw it to your own wallet. That's not allowed because they want you to trade and use the platform to learn more about it. But you just get $100 to trade with. So if you make money off of that 100, you're good. It's like I'm going to Vegas next month, and I get free credit when I go to hotels, and so they're like, hey, here's $50 for free credit, here's $1,000 free credit, whatever. So I can have like a couple $100 on my little card thing that I enter to the slots. I can't take out that like couple $100 and just put in my wallet. But if I make any profit off of those playing slots or whatever, I can put that into my wallet, so to speak. Let's see. And hi, Evan, could I look at Saia? Yeah, let's take a look at it very fast. Saia. Oh, okay, there we go. Daily, okay. Let's go to the weekly here. I mean, everything is just having these very beautiful breakouts as of late, and it's interesting. Like, if this does break down below this, I mean, this is good until it breaks down below this, and I don't even know if it will, depending on how crazy this market has been. I mean, even how was this breakout too? Oh man, what a crazy false breakout that was. All right, let's go over here though. Let's close that so I can see a little bit better. Where's my ray? Pretty much matching up with that right now, isn't it? Okay, so you're just hitting a short-term resistance around that 294 level at this point in time. Even though you have had a breakout, though, I would say just be cautious just because of what's been happening with all the Apple earnings that we've been seeing. This is definitely the NASDAQ right up here, and you can see that the NASDAQ is down 1.65%, I believe, futures-wise, 1.58 now, a little bit better off. So you may see a little bit of pain there tomorrow as it probably comes to retest maybe 275 to 280 or so, depending on how the market looks. Let me look at the after hours action. Was there any after hours action? Actually, I don't even know if there was. Extended hours. I don't see any extended hours. Maybe we don't know. Okay. Let's go to the daily chart back over here. Looks like that resistance is really at $303. Sorry about that. I was using the weekly charts. But it did have a breakout. It wasn't too strong of a breakout because we closed back down below it. Then we started to move up a little bit higher here. But you do see that wall going away a little bit here. At this point in time, I would probably say it's going to try to come back down here to 268, then try to get some support back around this level, and then try to make another push. But what you're probably going to see here, since it is such an aggressive upswing, you're probably going to see this break down over the next week or so. What is this? Friday? Next Friday? Yeah. Probably sometime next week, you're probably going to see it go more sideways and eventually decide to break back down here. And when it breaks back down, I think you probably have an opportunity to buy it back down here on the 240 to 250 range here. Let me zoom out of this stuff very fast. Let's go back to the weekly chart. Because I don't think within tomorrow it's going to be able to break out above this resistance level up here. I think it's eventually going to get knocked back down just a tad. And it won't be terrible, but I think you're going to have another opportunity to buy this back up. If I were to push this back over here and just check out the basics here. Yeah, I normally sell around this level, but you can see the pure rejection right there. Beautiful rejection. No rejection up there just yet. Let's see. Some rejection right there. Some rejection right there. That's interesting. Rejection right there. Popping up a little bit higher. Yeah, watch out for that 317 level, but it doesn't look terrible. I would just say, hey, wait for it to come back down a little bit if you want to take a nibble on it. It did have a breakout though, but with all this news coming out, it's the technicals are probably going to get smashed, even though it had a breakout. So be careful with it. Is there something better than this though? I don't really like that setup from there to there to there. It doesn't look like it works all too well. Maybe there to there to there. There. Not really there, but kind of gapped up there. Okay. Yeah, I would say at this point, give it a little bit of a break, but unless it breaks down really just below, again, this trend line right here, I don't think you have anything to be worried about. Let it consolidate for a little bit. The market can still go higher. We're still in this really weird euphoria moment. But if you start to see it break down below this level, which tomorrow would be around 262, I doubt it's going to come down that low. But, sometime Tuesday, Wednesday, if it starts to fall back down below 280 or so, that's a time where you should be a little bit more concerned and wait for it to fall back down. From at that point, you're probably only just going to worry about it coming back down to either 265, which isn't terrible, right? You kind of see this block of maybe 255 to 265, a little $10 range. And then if it breaks down below that, probably just 233. I don't see this coming back down here anytime soon. I think it'll be more of a consolidation pattern, trying to make another move, and also you do have another level of support kind of with that trend line as well. I like it though. It seems pretty solid. Just damn, it just definitely had a crazy move here. And it also broke back above that 20-month moving average here as well. Oh. I hope it can move up a little bit higher here. I don't know what they do. Transportation, trucking. Oh, they're probably going to have more business than ever right now. Well, no, it's industry slowing here, but they must have something else working for them. Golden Cross in the weekly. Oh, that's what's driving it. Yeah. Still seems like a good play. I wouldn't be holding it for much longer, though. I wouldn't really swing trade it too much, unless maybe 2 to 3 days. This thing eventually is going to come crumbling back down. Let's see. Let's see right here. And hey, Angel, can I look at Dogecoin? Yeah, Dogecoin's not really doing anything crazy right now. It's just kind of living off of that news that we had a little bit ago. Dogecoin had a breakout right here, and it was a really disappointing one because of all these earnings and stuff. Actually, let me just get out of here. I mean, not even the earnings. It just came down after a nice breakout. I mean, like here. Dogecoin had a solid breakout. You see the support over here, the resistance over here, the resistance over here. Nice upward move, golden cross preceding it. We bumped up, and then over the past few days, we just kind of came crashing back down here. It was really interesting. Now, we're still in this overall uptrend, but I am more concerned about it, only because of the fact that now we have earnings to add on top of this. You may see Dogecoin come back down here to 0.087 for a loss of where it is now of about 4 or 5%. Let's hope that doesn't happen. That's just if the NASDAQ has a really poor day tomorrow, okay? Now, because this didn't really work out, it's kind of annoying. Now we can't really trust that level of support here. Let me double check to make sure there was nothing that actually did work here. Oh, yeah, I guess that did work. Okay, I would probably use, yeah, that worked right there too. Okay, yeah, that worked right there too. Okay, all right. Get rid of this one. You're going to have to be doing a more of a grinding mentality now. I was more optimistic. Well, technically, depending on what resistance level you're looking like right there, that did technically break out, came back down, then came back up. You're still above that one. But right now, this looks more of a grinding play where you want to buy and hold. And then whenever it does have a pretty significant spike, and by significant spike, I mean 5 to 10%, nothing parabolic, that's where you're most likely going to want to scale out at this point. Because Dogecoin has had a very beautiful breakout here. After that breakout, it started to consolidate, go a little bit more sideways, but you've seen higher highs, and also higher lows. So it's going in that right direction right now. I was hoping that just because, again, we have this trend line right here, right? I was hoping that we would never have enough. We would have another opportunity, excuse me, guys, to break out. And depending on which levels you were looking at, we broke out on multiple fronts. But it just seemed like the breakout wasn't enough. And the resistance level up here wasn't like terrible, like, maybe right there or something. But it really comes down to the Fibonacci's level. And I just guess we just got rejected off of that one. Again, Watch for that breakdown there. Same with the 20-day moving average. But I'm really just going to expect to buy this maybe under 9 cents and then just kind of let it grind back up here if you're hoping for more good news as far as Bitcoin's concerned. At this point, I'm kind of happy that it looks like we're not going to have a death cross here for a while between the 50 and the 200. Last Dogecoin death cross between the 50 and the 200 really just did not sit well with everybody. It just started the whole nasty move that we saw today. But at this point, let it grind. If you feel like if you bought in right now and you feel like you need a stop loss, I'd have a stop loss at 8.5 cents, maybe 9 cents. If you really don't want to lose too much money, I think 8.5 cents is more reasonable though, because 9 cents just feels a little too tight. There you go. And Bitcoin is now positive for the day, which means it's like up, 0.16% for the last 3 hours or 3.5 hours or so. Yeah, no worries, Jay. Happy to help you out. Sup, Michael? The funny thing is you called $8 on UNG, the natural gas, when it was at $14. I can see it. I mean, I'm an economics guy. People, I'm an gosh, my tongue is just so tongue-tied today. It's because I've been taking hours and hours to film video. But, I try to understand the way the economy works. I try to understand the way the world works. And I'm not an expert like you would probably see on CNBC or Fox Business by reading this report, that report that. I kind of just look at things from more of a macro perspective. Over the winter, everybody was saying that, or back in spring, last summer, everybody said that Europe was going to have a very bad winter. But towards the winter time, everybody was like, oh, the winter is not that bad. Therefore, if they don't need as much natural gas, the price should go down. It's that type of stuff, right? But I don't remember, trying to think. Yeah, it's also just coming back down to a basic support level there. But yeah, it's always interesting to see how, if you're right or you're wrong. Like, I was wrong about Tesla here over the past week, right? Now, I don't have the technical analysis on there anymore, but you guys know that I thought we'd probably find some support in this block down here. All right, so this little block right there. All right, and we'd be able to bounce off. The real level that we had, it seemed to be like right there. Not really matching up with one of those, which is why I didn't like it as much. But I thought we might do something more like this. Let me find my little drawing tool here. Something more like this. We just went let me move the thing over here. We just moved so sky high compared to that. I am just so astonished. We're back above the 200 weekly moving average, the 20 weekly moving average, back above the 20, and back above the 50 here. I was hoping, go sideways. No, we just started to rocket ship off. So that's an example of me being wrong right there. I don't want you guys to think I'm always right, but just, oh my gosh, how crazy that really was over the past few days. Tesla has just rocketed. I'm probably going to tell the members it probably would be wise to buy some Tesla puts for probably next month or so. That's crashed like a YOLO put really low down there because Tesla can crash really hard now. But I have to see which puts I want to do, and I want to wait for the moment of weakness there so you guys can scale it at any point you want while making a profit. Right here. And hey, the real transporter, I always eat this late. I try not to eat too late, but again, technically, if I'm eating I'll finish the stream up in a little bit. If I'm eating at 8:39, I'm really not going to bed until 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, so I still got plenty of time to go out because I take Loki on his nightly walks. I think I gotta clean my rifle today. Oh, I'll clean it tomorrow. It's too late to freaking clean a rifle, right? And then just chill out with Loki and play around for a little bit. Yeah, I don't know where he's at right now. He must be chilling up. Oh, my mom and sister are here. He's probably just getting free treats and belly rubs. He doesn't need me these days. He just needs family or mom and sister. Let's see. And hey, Alcopink, a loose sugar may be a good sub for some of the regular sugar if that helps. She has to have regular sugar. It's really weird. She can't have substitute sugars. It's not good. She has more than just blood sugar issues. Let's just say that. But I have a whole system worked out for her, which is why she was so mad when I wouldn't give her the food she wanted. food she wanted. Oh man. No worries, Ivan. Let's see. Hey, Angel, what do you guys think about crypto right now? Everything is going down a little today. Y'all think it can start dumping or keep going sideways? At this point, I don't even think about it like that. I think about it in terms of hey, okay, so if you want to go there, we can talk about it first. Sure, we have seen weakness today primarily because of what the stock market is doing. That is pure weakness. That is not good. On the other hand, I'm looking more at some of these longer trends like the 20-day moving average, the 50-day moving average, and watching to see how Bitcoin will actually go up against those bad boys. Right now, all you have to worry about is the 20-day moving average. If we do break down below that, that's where I start getting a little bit more concerned because typically, not always, but typically, when Bitcoin breaks down below the 20, the 50, or the 200 daily moving averages, we do tend to have really sizable moves when that occurs, okay? So if I were to go over here for the daily chart of Bitcoin, right? Like over here, remember how I said it sometimes or most of the time? We really didn't have a big pump right there. It kind of came later. I think there was just a wall right here and we finally broke out. But like this, usually when you break above these moving averages, big moves. If I go back over here, really big move, crazy wicks, not a big move, bigger move, bigger move, bigger move, bigger move, medium move, bigger move, tiny move, big move, big move, big move, medium move, big move, medium move, tiny move, medium, big, 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 big. Guess we're gonna close up with medium, big, big, medium, big. We kind of opened up against it. Big, I guess, for that one. Big, medium, 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 big, medium, 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 tiny, medium, medium, tiny. Right? That goes all the way back to the bull market here. But typically we have some pretty big moves. So sorry to kind of sound so redundant there. So the concern is here, if we do start to break down below the 20, well, are we going to come all the way back down here to that next level of support around 22,279? Or are we going to break all the way back down here to this support level right over here towards 21,446? Regardless, at this point, the market seems to be in a healthy enough spot where the earnings are decent, not good, not necessarily terrible, but just decent to moderately icky. Where if we do take a dip over the next week, I would probably try to buy that dip, and then I would be using the 200 daily moving average or the 50-day moving average as your stop loss. Because you can see right now the 50 on the bottom of the screen is going to cross over above the 200 sometime, probably Monday, Tuesday, I would say. Maybe Sunday if we're lucky. That could give a boost to us, but we might have to take a dip before we actually have that big move. I'm still optimistic about how far Bitcoin can go. Maybe up to $25,000, perhaps up to $26,000. It'll be very, very tough. But there are some levels that we can continue to move up to as long as the stock market stays strong. All we need from the stock market is to go sideways. Bitcoin can do the rest by itself, but we do need the stock market to go sideways for us right now. And if you are looking for a reason to be more pessimistic about Bitcoin right now, really just pay attention to that green line, the 20-day moving average, okay? If we start breaking down below that, that's where things get a little bit nasty, a little bit more painful. But, we managed to break above the 20-week moving average. Currently, we're just dealing with the 50-week moving average and the 200-weekly moving averages. If you want something more detailed, this is the one, I think. Is this the one? Yes, this is the one. Okay, no, is this the one weekly? Yeah, so this is a chart that has three Gann boxes on it, okay? 3 Gann squares and 3 Gann boxes. So this is like 6 total little indicators that you might want to learn how to use. I don't know if I can direct it. They look like this. This is what a Gann box looks like. Looks like that. That's if you have the angles on. Most of the time people turn them off because they can be very, very annoying. So it looks more like that. This is how I usually have it, usually. And then there's also this thing called a Gann square. It requires math to put on your actual charts, but that's what it looks like. And you're just seeing these two things on your chart 3 times each. So 3 of the first one, 3 of the second one, okay? I'm using different lows and different ratios, okay? Now, if we go up to the market right now, you can see we're currently hitting a level of resistance. It's a little bit of an issue for us, but if you see that next level of resistance, if we do manage to break out above it, that's really right up here towards the 200 weekly moving average, excuse me. So if I go over here to the daily, hold on a second, guys. My signal kind of went wonky there for a second. You can kind of see it. It's pretty darn precise at this point in time. It's not always precise, but right now it's actually looking pretty good, isn't it? So if we do manage to have a breakout here over the next few days before we break down below the 20-day moving average, I think we have a pump up here towards 24,813. Not a bad level of resistance. From there, we have to kind of keep on moving up, though. That's the concern because, of course, we're so close to the 20-day moving average. This has to keep on moving higher and higher and higher, and we have to keep on moving much faster in order to stay far away from it, right? Just like we did over here, right? Catching up, you just keep on moving faster and faster and faster, although this was a breakout point, right? So it was a technical breakout. So keep an eye on it, but, probably our next level is around 24,820. And remember, this not all of these levels are going to be all 100% correct. I usually think of them as more of zones of resistance, not necessarily just hard levels of resistance. And you can even see if we go over here to the 4-hour chart, we've been above these levels, right? Just on the daily chart, we've had some issues, but even on the 4-hour chart, we broke above it. We tried to hold, boom, knocked back down earlier today, okay? These orange levels are something I usually work for. I love these orange levels. I tend to think of them more as support levels than resistance levels, but they do have a meaningful level of resistance, okay? So right here, resistance. Right here, resistance. We kind of blasted that, but support over here, no support over here. That's because exchanges were going off, but support over here with this green line over here, rode that one down as well. Support over here with this larger green line. So it gets kind of cluttered over here, but you guys don't have to worry about that at that point. But, oops, a daisy. At this point, we're just consolidating. We're just waiting. The market may not be the best tomorrow, but we're still okay. Honestly, from a technical perspective, it's not even the charts that really annoy me too much. It's more of that, you see that blue line on the top of the screen? That 50-week moving average crossing below the 200. That's what really gives me the most concern these days. Because to me, that lets me know that, hey, the trend's about to change. And the trends have been changing. It's a really bad omen sign. It's called a death cross. It's nasty. But yeah, let's go back over here. Oh, no. I should go back over here to this one. I should go back to that. I should go over here and keep that organized because sometimes I don't and I just move it all around. There we go. Okay. See you. And hey, Alex, I can't wait for these tutorials. Yeah, so I'm in the process of making them. It'll take a while. Members, you're a member, Alex. So you'll get the whole thing for free. You get the whole thing for free, which will be really chill. To be fair, it's going to be long, so I'm sorry it's going to be so long. But the more I'm doing these videos, I think it's going to be like 15 to 20 hours plus as far as tutorials and stuff like that, because there'll be quizzes and stuff I toss in here too to make sure you guys actually understand what's going on. And then, so it'll be interesting to say the least. It's going to be a freaking long tutorial. But yeah, it should be really good. I'm hoping it'll do very well. The only weak part I have to say is me talking in it. And by that, I mean, I was doing the intro for it today and I was reading a script for it. And I have to read the script because I just can't memorize a whole paragraph of words like that. And so sometimes it sounds like I'm just not reading. It doesn't sound like that, but I sound good, but you can see that my eyes are clearly reading something. So I'll have to see how that works, but I'm hoping the value of knowledge will overcome just like the awkwardness of me reading something on the screen. Which is why, if you guys can't tell, I'm looking kind of more at you today and less like this, like I normally would. That's because I literally put my monitor, moved it more to the left, and took away the gap that my computers normally have because the camera's usually right here. So like if I did this very fast, if I lift my monitor up, oh, I can't even do that right now. Okay, I'm not even gonna try. This Samsung monitor is the stiffest monitor I've ever had. But basically my monitor goes like up and down. I don't want to mess with it though. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty fun. Tomorrow, as far as other tutorials I have, let me go over here very fast, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Where is it at? Oh no, it's right there. Okay, never mind. So I have 2 tutorials coming out over the next few days. One coming out tomorrow, one coming out Saturday. How to add double exponential moving averages. The last one I did, it was too simple, I feel like, so I didn't really give you enough numbers to use for the actual different types of strategies. So I have one for long-term strategies and I'll give you numbers for short-term strategies and day trading strategies. So tomorrow is going to be how to add exponential moving averages. I give you a few different plots of data you can use for them. And then the Saturday, I'll also be giving you guys how to add double exponential moving averages. I'm not going to do TEMAs because TEMAs I don't think are really too important. But what I'm probably going to do for Sunday or some of these other days here is I am going to do another tutorial. I'm just not entirely sure which one at this point. Because at this point, guys, what have I done for you guys as far as tutorials? I've done fib retracement, I've done trend-based fib extension, I've done pitchfork, I've done all the pitchforks. One pitchfork video that covers all these. In case you guys ever watch my pitchfork video and it'll kind of explain it. But you guys, I can do a pitchfork like this, you know? You see that pitchfork right there? Well, all you got to do is click on it, hit settings, and you see this little thing at the bottom called style. This has all the actual pitchforks that you need. So you can just change them here instead of actually clicking them each individually there. It makes it really nice and easy. Let me get out of this very fast. Let's close it off. Let's go over here. So we have a relative low bottom here. Yeah, let's use this very fast. Now, I don't know how accurate this is going to be, honestly, just because I don't use the second chart too much. Okay. Let's go over here. Let's go to shift. Inside, original. Where's, oh, there you go. You know. See how it works out a little bit. You can see like the little scalpers. See a little bit of support there, a little bit of support there. I don't know. You know, it's always interesting to see how this stuff works out. There we go. Oh, got stopped right there. Found support here. Again, it's not perfect, but you know, it's always nice to kind of see how these things do play out according to these just basic technical indicators that we can use. Because it's always hard to get some of those, like you can't time something like that at all. But you know, on a daily chart, it can make it a little bit easier for sure. Like a little bit holding it there, support here, right? No resistance there, kind of bounced up a little bit higher, I guess, going to the moving averages and stuff. But you know, you can have some fun with it. This is a second chart. It's not going to be the best example to use, but you know, you can see a little bit of how it works. Oh, geez, I zoomed in so much on the other chart that it zoomed in on my Bitcoin one. There we go. Let's see. Hey, Vital, we're getting layoffs. Also, the war ain't helping the debt. Trucking is okay, but we don't get compensated well. 900 for a lot of risk in LA. I heard California is a really bad place to do trucking there. Like, people aren't even, like, trucking there anymore. They're just going to other states and just working there instead. But I think that's for the truckers that don't have houses. They just kind of live in their truck, make as much money as possible, and they looking to, you know, cash in while they can, so to speak. See, the she breaker caught me off guard. There's been a lot of interesting moves over the past few weeks, I have to say that, but you know, so far it's been good. Does Pep have a chance of going up $2 to $3 in the next 2 market days? Whoa, definitely testing out support today. You said $2 to $3? 172. Oh, this is only 1%. Yeah, it definitely has an opportunity to do so. Let's see. I would say you just want to be careful that we don't close down below this in the 4-hour chart. This trend line right here, that would lead us coming probably back down here to 167 or so, which would be a pain. It looks like earnings are really going to be the savior here if you want to do that, but earnings aren't until February 9th, so next Thursday here, so be careful with it. But at this point in time, you're in a nice little triangle coming up here bit by bit. Support was really waning today, though. You can see this maybe on the 5-minute chart. Definitely was showing some weakness. Here. Had a double bottom towards the end of the day, rallied up above it, holding support again. I would say try to see if it gets up to 171 to 172 tomorrow. But if you feel like it's going too far gone, you could always just get out of the position or have a stop loss there. Depending if you're buying options or you're just buying spot trades, it's okay to have a stop loss on the actual value of the option itself if it worries you. So I would say be careful with it. You're seeing it. You saw it hold the bottom pretty well so far, at least on the daily chart. But you did see that weakness today, which can be a little bit more concerning. Because the market looks like it's going to be going down tomorrow because of the earnings, that may be a little bit of a concern. I will say, though, Pepsi didn't rally into this like a lot of other assets. So you might see Pepsi separate itself out a little bit. If you remember Apple, Google, Microsoft, all the tech plays, they were roaring into the earnings today. They're much higher than they were just a few weeks ago. Uh, Pepsi's already gone back up, but it already came back down quite a bit as well. So I'm not overly concerned there. I believe their problem right now is basically that they're going to have to lower the margin just a tad, but they'll probably talk about that more on the earnings. But technical perspective, it's still managing to hold. Just beware, daily death cross happening right here as well. That may be a little bit of a scary momentum shift if you guys are long on it. Oh, not the one I wanted. There we go. Those Tesla puts are expensive. Oh, don't worry about it then. That's why I normally don't trade Tesla too much, because the puts are very, very expensive. Extremely, extremely expensive. And that's because, again, everybody likes to trade Tesla puts so that the value of themselves is up because there's so much demand for them. It really is a crazy opportunity for Tesla puts, just Tesla options, excuse me. See, hey Tony, yeah, artificial sweeteners, yeah, definitely can't have them for my mom. How low about Amazon to go down to cover the calls and make some profit? It depends on what your actual strike prices were and your longs were. And hey, Rybread, have a great rest of your night, my man. For Amazon tomorrow, the strike prices that we talked about. Actually, here, hold on a second. Let me just verify this, because I hate talking about stuff when I don't remember exactly what I recommended. Since it already happened earlier today, I'm not going to be too concerned. Let's go to videos, membership. And you said Amazon. Okay, so let's go over here. Apple and more bearish than Google. But because of all the good news here, you might see something happen. But I would still recommend having a hedge just in case it doesn't work out. Because you never know with Amazon, because although they have a very good cloud component, they are susceptible to the market if people aren't spending as much money, if they didn't have a good holiday quarter, that type of stuff, okay? Although I think they probably had a decent holiday quarter. I think the problem is with the guidance going forward. But if you guys wanted to have some type of options play on this, which is a hedge, and you're going to be making money off the volatility here, basically, I would have a 120 strike price expiring next Friday, just to be safe, because it's already Thursday. Don't want to make it too risky. Next Friday. Other than that, if you wanted to do a 115 strike price for tomorrow, you could. That would be okay. But if you want to do like a 120, you're probably going to have to push that out to next week, okay? That way that theta doesn't kill it tomorrow. Because, even if it skyrockets up to $18, you may make some money. But, you could still risk losing it all, especially once the market opens up. Now, on the downward side, we're at 112.47 right now. I would just say come back down here to 104, 105. I'd probably just have a 105 strike price put if you wanted to go out to next Sunday. I meant next Friday. So 105 strike price is what I said. Well, let's go over here to Amazon very fast to actually see what's going on. AMZN, current price is 108. I don't know exactly what this number is going to be tomorrow because of just how the market's going to open up. But I would say if it still stays around 108 to 109 and you did buy that kind of towards the high of the day or just towards the end of the day, usually I tend to buy them at the end of the day, that'd be a profit just for the stock, the short, around 4%. That should be around 100 to 140% profits there, maybe even more. I'm not entirely sure, honestly, like exactly what the number is going to be, but that should cover a hedge if you had one up over here on the top end of them, as long as you kind of made them somewhat equal, because you're really playing the volatility, as I said in the video. But I would say that 108 is going to be plenty enough for you to get the money, unless you really just bought the option at the morning. But I didn't put out the video till over here, I think. When did I put out that video? Does it say 9 hours ago? What's 9 hours ago? It's like around 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, something like that. So yeah, so over here, right? So at this point, you're probably going to be looking just fine on those puts. They're probably going to be doing very, very well. It'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, because if we start losing support around here, you might actually see through the rest of the day, it might actually be coming down even more. So what you could do here, if you do have some puts, is you could scale out a little bit during the morning, and then through the rest of the day, kind of observe to see if we're coming down, or if for whatever reason something crazy happens, which is definitely happened in this ludicrous market we're in, we start to actually pick back up during the regular market hours here. So be careful, But at this point, that hedge is going to be working out very, very well because you probably bought it somewhere over here when it was $112, $111, and you got a 105 strike price, and it's come all the way back down to 108. You're looking pretty good. Let me go over here to Webull very fast and see how much let's see. From close to close today, Amazon went up like 6%. So let's see what those calls would have been if they expire next week. So let me just go over to Webull very fast. If I can find Webull. There we go. Okay, go here to options. Let's type in. I don't want ads. AMZN. Amazon equity. Options. So February 3rd, that's tomorrow. We don't want those ones. We want the next ones. 8 days away. So if you got those calls a while ago, yesterday, like I guess what would the difference be here as far as, oops, I did something stupid. AMZN. So let's say a 4% drop or a $4 drop. How much of a height was this? This is a $11. Oh, we were going from end to end. Let's just say from end to end. So that's about $6. And that was from 112-ish. So that 112 today, so like it's 6% upkeep, $6 up. That position for a call for next week went up 198% today alone, while the puts went down about 40%. And so by tomorrow, I would expect it to be well over 100% profit on those puts. But it could actually increase depending on if the market like actually goes down tomorrow. So all we know right now as far as futures is saying the market is probably going to open up negative, but we don't actually know if it's going to continue negative or it's going to have some type of an effect again where it just like opens up and we just start trucking along out of nowhere. So it could always be a little bit better to scale up portion and then just kind of see where it goes with the rest of the day. Especially since tomorrow's Friday, you may just see people dump on their assets and say, hey, we'll come back on Monday and just, trade a little bit more here. Trying to see. I'm looking at some of the puts that were bought today. The puts that I said 105, those cost $2.38 at the end of the close day. I would assume they were actually a little bit cheaper here. Can I check it out? Let's see. Good. See. Oh, well, let me see how it worked out here. Okay, but yeah, so basically I assume it'd be a little bit up though. Basically, because you're up like 4 or 5%. We'll have to see tomorrow what it really ends up shaking out to though. There you go. All right. Oh, I need to stop zooming and it messes up my whole thing. All right. Let's see. And hey, Joseph. Oh, sorry, man. I'm sorry I missed out on Bat for you, my man. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Remind me tomorrow and I'll check out Bat for you. Or if you're still here, I'll check out Bat if you want to. What's the best job you think that pays the best for someone under 2021? Don't ask me that. I worked for $8 an hour at I guess not at 21, but I was like 18. Honestly, the best job that I liked, paid well. If you have a particular skill, freelance it out. Usually freelancing works. Be very good at what you do. If you're not very good at what you do, don't freelance it out because you'll just be wasting your time trying to find clients. I would say an easy job that I always liked when I was in college and in high school was security. Security jobs are usually pretty chill. You can contract yourself out, so that means you get to work when you want to, so you can kind of fit your schedule, depending on what you're doing. Other than that, I would say maybe just doing social media like YouTube and things of that nature. So if you start up a YouTube channel and start learning what YouTube requires you in order to have good content, what they want you to have in order to be pushed out, you can make some good money off of YouTube and social media. But I would say you have to be very consistent and you have to work hard. And even then, you're not going to be making money right away. It'd be something you do on the side. But normally, I would just say freelance if you got the opportunity, or just get a decent, like a regular job out there. Even the 9 to 5 jobs, even if like here the minimum wage is like $15 an hour, you can still pull in $2,000 a month. It's going to be hard, I know, but sometimes you just want to really save your money up as much as you can. There's not really many good like job opportunities nowadays. There's jobs, but not many good opportunities. Let's see. Hey, Christopher, can I look at Algo? Yes, I can look at Algo very fast. I think I actually already have Algo down here, though. Let me check it out. Oh, that's AVAX. I don't have Algo over here. I really don't. Maybe I got rid of it on accident. There we go. Daily. Let's see. I mean, you see a support level right here, and you can kind of see this movement right there. A little bit of an upward channel. I'm not too concerned about this channel, actually. What I'm more concerned about is just breaking down below the 20 here. At this point in time, right there, I really think if we are forced to make a significant pullback, we're probably going to be coming back down to 22 cents. Now, or 22.5 cents, I should say. But if we do start that drop off now, that's about a 10% drop. Not something you really want to see, unfortunately. However, the fact that the 20-day moving average is pretty close, we really have to see a stronger move if you want to have that big pump up and retest that 200 daily moving average up here towards 28, 29 cents. I would say this is still a wild card at this point in time. The 4-hour chart would suggest you're seeing some weakness there as well. That's not too good. I think at the short term, you're actually just looking at this, aren't you? Yeah. I would say if you want to take more of an aggressive play, see what happens if we break above 26.42 again, but you want to see the 4-hour close above that level. From there, you could probably get yourself back up to at least 27 to 28. I would say probably 28. I'm looking at some of these levels over here as far as the smaller Fibonacci's. So this is a tiny Fibonacci extension level. Oh, that's the extension. That's the retracement. I need an extension, yeah. High, low right there. You can see we kind of got rejected off of that, got rejected off of this. I could see us getting back up here towards 28.5 cents or so. That's as high as I think we're probably going to go until Bitcoin and the rest of the market kind of tips back over. But again, you want to see some good moves happening this weekend. I doubt it will happen tomorrow. I bet it would be more likely to happen this weekend as far as a very robust move. But you could possibly see the breakout tomorrow, though. But you wouldn't see the big move happening until afterwards. Longer term here, though, again, matches up right there. And again, this other one, although, yeah, I got resistance right there. We broke out again. But you can see resistance right there still having an issue for us. So careful with it. I still think if you want to buy that type of breakout, you're really hoping for the 28.5 cent level. Maybe just scale out somewhere in this zone and be happy with what you get. But I think it could possibly get up to that 200 daily moving average. And that 200 daily moving average, if I just kind of move this along, kind of matches up with the support levels we have over here, right? So I could see it working out, getting kind of high up here as far as these breakouts, though. Eventually, it's going to have to come back down. So when it does, just make sure you have some type of reliable stop loss there to make sure you're not overexposed into the market. Let's see. I used to earn $3 an hour in McDonald's, age 14 to 16. Oh my gosh, that cannot fly here. We got the minimum wage in Washington State is so crazy. XRP, let me take a look at it very fast. So as far as XRP is concerned, still looking for that breakout. Looks like, it still looks like we're looking for that breakout here. Let me get rid of this because it looks like we broke down and we had like a weird false breakdown, but held above the 200 daily moving average. 4-hour. We're testing this thing like crazy. Let's make this magnetized so we can have a more precise level here. Okay, so it's make or break time as far as XRP is concerned. You're getting, I guess I just got to drag this out a little bit longer. Let's get there. Something like that, yeah. So kind of make or break time right now. You have like another day or two before it has to decide if it wants to break down, retest the 38.5 cent level, which from now is about 6-7% down, 5-6% down, excuse me. If not, it'll try to break out here and possibly retest 42 cents, and then after that, make a run up towards 0.4335 levels. I would wait for it to close above on the 4-hour chart and the daily chart if possible, but primarily just the 4-hour chart. After it does that, you can try to buy it, and you can get about a 4.5% profit. If you're looking for something a little bit more pessimistic, wait for this to break down below this, and then trade it all the way down for about a 4.5%, maybe just a 4% profit on this side. But you're seeing a nice level of resistance here. Nothing too crazy. It's had a couple issues over the last 24 to 38 hours, 36 hours, excuse me. If we can just get that little umph here tomorrow with the market, then you should have a really good opportunity. If we don't have a good opportunity, you may have a buying opportunity down here at support, but just be very, very careful with it because we just don't know what happens if tomorrow's a bad day. Where does that lead Bitcoin for Saturday and Sunday? We're going to have to hope that they can separate from the overall market direction, okay? You could take a shot at working in the mortgage customer service industry. Teaches you a lot about homes as well. Oh, that could be pretty interesting as well. I got a few friends in that industry. So wake up at 5, gig job, then 9 to 5, then gig job again. Yeah, that could work out pretty well. I don't know. I've always been somebody who's a grinder. Remember, I come from a really, I'm supposed to call it a humble background, but it was a really shitty background. Remember, guys, I grew up here. Shalashan, Tacoma. So you see that? You see the nice new houses they have? See, I didn't get those houses. I got these houses if I can find them. Well, here I grew up in the '90s. By the late 1980s, Salashan had become a center for gang activity and drug trading, and was increasingly viewed as burdensome by the residents of Tacoma. Residents of the areas around Salashan, which has always been more middle class, complained that the neighborhood was negatively affecting property prices, crime rates, and perception of the rest of the Lower East Side. Right? In 1990, Salashan reported 331 violent crimes for a rate of nearly 1 per day, for a rate of approximately 5,517 violent crimes per 100,000 population. So 1 per day, and again, if I go over here very fast, the map is like Salashan is just. Can you guys see that? Yeah, Salashan is just this. This is just forest area. They never actually built houses over here. And that's Salashan. 1 per day in just that one area. Okay. And it's usually a gunshot or a stabbing. You hear somebody crying outside, you just know to go inside and just like chill out till the cops get there. But yeah, Salashan ain't too hot. Now it's a really nice little area. Look at this. I'll drive through it. Little thing. Look at these little houses. Look at that. Look at that. Much nicer. You got look at this. You got like cherry blossom trees or something. I don't know what the heck that is. That's nicer leaves than I ever got. I had blackberry bushes, which I have to say, blackberry bushes are freaking awesome. But it's a lot nicer than when I was there. Look at these houses. They're actually pretty decent houses here. Right? I mean, they even got parks and stuff. I think there's a park down here. Yeah, there's a park over here. Yeah, look at that. We didn't have that park. We had a field where people used to burn their cars on, light their cars on fire after they stole it. Those were actually pretty interesting times because when you found a car that was on fire, the kids, we would just let it throw shit into it and wait for the fire engine to get there. But Old Salashan was like I don't even know if I can find a picture of Old Salashan. Salashan, Tacoma, images. Like this. Those are old Salashan houses where nothing was good. Now there's some black and white. Oh, no, that's old. But yeah, I mean, they were built so long ago. I mean, it was a horrible place to live. You had rats living in them and mice, and you had to go to Home Depot, buy up the plywood, smash close the holes, usually underneath the cupboards for the kitchen. That's where the holes were because they were never actually properly fixed. But they don't really have many pictures of old Salashan anymore. What if I type in old Salashan? Old Salashan. No, not really much of old Salashan. I mean, that kind of... No, that's a little bit different. But yeah, kind of same vibe. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, just not the best of houses. Those actually look a little bit nicer than ones I was living in. My neighbors, when I was growing up, was a nice Filipino family. We were all kind of poor, but they always used to give me free fish tacos. And my mom would always give them fried chicken. So it was pretty good, pretty good little community vibe there. And we used to make blackberry pies with the berries in the back because we didn't really have much money. But good times. I mean, I feel like growing up poor, you get a lot of good memories, even if you were poor. Like even I showed you guys that map from a few seconds ago. If I can find it here very fast. Back here, there's like people walk their horses, and there's like a dirt track over here, uh, pump track. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, look at the guy with the bike. Look at those photos. People having fun. You can do a lot of shit back here. But basically, back here in the forest, because they never built any houses behind the Lister Elementary. Um, Basically, there's like 6 foot tall ant hills back here, which are terrifying. You can throw boulders into them and stuff. Fun times, really fun times. One of my friends was over here. He crashed his bike into a bush, and he literally like popped up with 1,000 spiders because he broke an egg sac for spiders, and just he was traumatized for a little bit. I cannot blame him for that one, honestly. Oh, let's see. Nowadays, we can drive Uber, Lyft to make money on the side. I loved Uber and I loved Lyft. I totally forgot about those as ways to make money. If you guys have a car, I think it's 10 years old or newer, you guys can drive for Lyft or Uber. I think the only hassle is some states require extra type of insurance. Like Washington has a much more expensive car insurance than Montana did for driving with Uber. But I have to say, if you guys have the patience for Uber and you guys are okay, like if you're a woman, I probably wouldn't recommend it because I've heard like this, not horror stories, but like annoying stories. You guys can make some really, really good money doing it as long as you're chill, you don't mind talking to people, and you could drive nights. I prefer to drive nights. Or mornings, I think, were pretty good as well when I used to do it. Mike origin story. I got a pretty fun origin story. A lot of fun. Like here's a story before I end the stream here because I'm going to end the stream here pretty soon. And hey, PHX fish tacos for fried chicken. It is a great one. But when I was a kid, I think I told you guys this last year. When I was a kid, it was towards the holiday time or something like that. And all of a sudden, I was sleeping, and you hear all the fire engines, and you hear like the police sirens coming outside. And so normally when this occurs, what do? My mom picked me up out of bed, and she tossed me into the bathtub, a couple of blankets, because usually what this means is there's about to be a huge gunfight out, and you're about to have a lot of bullets going through walls and stuff like that. And an easy way to an easy safe spot to find in your house is usually the bathtub. Bullets usually don't go through the hard material, whatever the bathtub is made out of. And so my mom was like, hey, stay here for a little bit, and I'm going to go look to see what's happening, because it was just a lot of silence, a lot of noise, and nobody knew what was going on. So the whole neighborhood was like calling each other. This is with landlines back in the day. Like, what's going on? We don't know. Stay inside. My mom goes outside to go check to see what's going on, and then she tells me it's okay to get out, and she tells me to go out to the front yard. Now I'm freaking out because I'm like, what's going on? So it turned out it was Santa Claus on the back of a fire engine, and the whole community went into lockdown because they thought there was a huge gunfight about to happen. And then people slowly started to trickle out of their houses to go get free candy canes, little candy from Santa Claus, tossing it outside. It was a very fun little good time. I really did enjoy it as a kid. But, there was like a traumatizing moment beforehand, and I'm like, oh, it's candy. I'm a kid, candy. Let's go get candy. Freaking crazy. I've been like that, Another story is I went to a middle school there before I went to private school on scholarship. The governor went to my neighborhood to say how nice and how everything was getting so much better. Then there was like gunshots like 3 blocks away from where she was giving her speech, and my school went into lockdown. Yeah, I've had a pretty interesting life, I have to say so myself here. Thank God I learned how to trade. Thank God I've just become more of an investor / YouTuber guy now. Thank God I moved to Nicaragua so I can have a nice house with a waterfront view. Nice tropical weather every single day. Take my dog. My dog's going to get a girlfriend and a wife. He's going to have some puppies eventually. Going to be fun times. But okay, everybody, I'm going to see you guys again tomorrow. Long story short, here, let me do this. Actually, I can do this, can't I? Yeah, I can. Okay. So, long story short, everybody, we've had a really good run-up. The run-up can still continue. We had poor earnings from Amazon, Apple, and Google today. That is not what you want to see. I think tomorrow you will probably see the market come back down, unfortunately. Now, do I think it's going to be some type of mega ultra crash over the next few weeks? I'm not entirely sure about that. I think if anything, we can actually try to go more sideways and have another consolidation period that leads us up a little bit higher. We're very overextended right now, and I think we need a little bit of a breather. I don't think that breather is going to turn into something more catastrophic down the road, okay? The only way I see things getting much, much worse as far as the market is concerned is if economic data starts to look like it's very, very perilous, okay? More layoffs, unemployment rates go up higher, people are freaking out about that. One more rate hike in April, okay? That's where things, I think, really start to get bad. For now, I think we're well off the bottoms, and we're not going to approach the bottoms anytime soon. At worst, I think over the next few days, Bitcoin goes back down to 20,200s level, okay? We're currently around $23,500. We're okay. Give it some time, and what do you call? Just relax a little bit, okay? I'm not too concerned about where we're at, but I want you guys to understand we should be watching out for a couple levels of support and resistance. Resistance primarily is just going to be the 50-week moving average and the 200 weekly moving average. And that support level for today, for Bitcoin at least, is just going to be that 20-day moving average, okay? And Ken, I will check my